But today I will go back and trace the root of why we fight and really make sure that there is no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that we will gain our liberty or we will gain death. It will not, no doubt, in the mind of enablers, in the mind of La République du Cameroonians, in the mind of anybody, anywhere in the world. You know, in mid-April of 1994, at Kibongo, in eastern Rwanda, at the hills called Nyarubuye, a massacre of Tutsi took place. At least 50 men, women, and children were butchered. As the Rwandan genocide approached the western town, Rwandan town of Mugonero, a group of community leaders penned a letter seeking protection. They wrote, "We wish to inform you that tomorrow we will be killed with our families." The very next morning, the 7 signatories of this letter, along with 3,000 other Tutsis seeking refuge at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Nyarubuye, were massacred. They were massacred with a UN mission operating in Rwanda. My fellow Ambazonians, the Ambazonian people will not sit by and have our citizens pen such letters that they have been penning to the international community for more than 50 years. We cannot, we will not, and never forget the genocide that took place at Gabo, the crimes against humanity at Pinyin, the massacres in Bali, in Fako. I can go over and over and over and over. It is a horror story, not unlike the Rwanda. Today, you see the monuments. Today, you hear the international community talk about their regret, talk about standing on the sidelines, talk about their failure. A failure that some were even afraid to use the name genocide to term it. My fellow Ambazonians, the story of the horror of our occupation is not hidden. It is playing in plain sight. From the moment that La République du Cameroon crossed into our territory, from the moment that they transfer our assets, some of them, what billions from the Cameroon bank, transferred it to La République du Cameroon and raped. From the moment they dismantled the source of our power, power camp, took the machines to their land. We were raped economically, politically. They raped us, dismantling our House of Chiefs, dismantling our parliament, dismantling our prime minister, dismantling our police force. We were raped before they sent in their armies, their gendarmes. And for the first time in our land, we become familiar with terms like Kale. We become familiar with terms like you are guilty until proven innocent in a crook court. We become familiar with Frenchmen teaching our children in our classrooms. My fellow Ambazonians, the history of our occupation, the brutality is playing in plain sight. It is not hidden, not from us, not from La République du Cameroon, not from the international community. What type of horror haven't we undergone? They were not only satisfied with our capture and occupation, no. They undertook programs, deliberate government policy of ethnic cleansing and resettlement, where the decision was made that they could not convert us, a foreign people, to become Cameroonians. So they will need that land to be resettled by Cameroonians, by La République du Cameroonians. And so their policy, their war, their biological war began on our people. My fellow Ambazonians, they killed a priest, a father, for discovering this biological warfare that they were waging against our people, where they went into our schools under the guise of vaccination, sterilizing our people, sterilizing our young girls and ladies. How many Ambazonians, how many millions of Ambazonians were killed through this sterilization campaign that they did in order to depopulate our land and resettle it with La République du Cameroonians? They were not satisfied with that. And their next aim was to turn a crisis, an epidemic, into a pandemic in our land and murder hundreds of thousands, millions of others. What am I talking about? We all were familiar with the horror of the AIDS crisis. But the government instituted policy of the brutal regime in Yaoundé was to anybody, anywhere in La République du Cameroon that was diagnosed with that virus was transferred into Ambazonia. They raped our women openly because they had the gun. We were a captured people. They spread the disease in our land and they turned a crisis into a biological weapon, became a pandemic in our land, and we lost millions of Ambazonia. The horror of our occupation from La République du Cameroon is playing in plain sight. It is not hidden. That is the history from which we come from. That is the history. When as a young kid, I could be walking in Bamenda town. As a child, not yet 8, walking alone in Bamenda town. Because these terrorists had gone haywire and started spraying bullets into crowds of people. And I became dissociated from my brother who had taken me to watch a PWD Bamenda game. This is the horror that is playing in plain sight in Ambazonia. My fellow Ambazonians, this is the terror from which we come from. So I am asking you, Sheshek Day, my fellow Ambazonians, I am asking you again, Sheshek Day, because my brothers and sisters, I have not seen your name on the list of the 200 AK campaign. I have not seen your name there. You have not sent in your AK. We have to fight. We need to fight. We will fight till the last man. Till the last man. My fellow Ambazonians, I am the chairman of the Ambazonian War Council. My residence, the United States of America. And if the faces of this horror that is playing out in our land in Ambazonia, if the terrorists that are terrorizing our people feel that they could come under the guise of resettling in this land and feel that they, the face of terror, are going to terrorize us, then they have something coming for them. They have no idea what is coming for them. If they think that they will loot the blood money that they have looted from our land, the dead bodies that they have left behind, and fill their bank accounts herewith, the children of terror that is playing out in the land, if they feel that they can sit on that looted wealth, on that looted privilege, and terrorize those of us trying to prevent the genocide in our land, they don't know what is coming for them. They have no idea what they are touching. Everybody will answer for the role that they play in the genocide of millions of Ambazonians, in the war that La République is waging in our land, in the crimes against humanity from Gabu to Munya, from baby Caroline to Sam Sawyer, whose head was cut off, from Mami Happy burned in her home to the children massacred in Quen. My fellow Ambazonians, I ask you again, Sheshek Day, go get your AK. We will fight to the dead. Let me read you something. Let me read you something that I was just reading from the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We will pick up arms. We have picked up arms to defend those rights. I know the journey might be harrowing, just like George Washington crossing the Potomac, not thinking or even envisaging that they will succeed in that pursuit. So too are we in this journey. So, Ambazonians, I ask you again, shake day, get your AK, because we will fight to the last man. The Ambazonian people are under the occupation, in the grip of one of the most brutal regimes in the history of mankind. A regime that will turn biological weapons on other human beings. A regime that knows no bounds. One of the greatest kidnapping regime in the history of mankind. We have thousands of Ambazonian people that have been kidnapped from our land and are in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon. They have even gone against international law and coerce other government through bribery and corruption to capture and kidnap our people, even those that have the rights as asylees, to capture and rendition them to the dungeons in La République du Cameroon. My fellow Ambazonians, their faces, those that are fronting these regimes in La République du Cameroon, in France, in Nigeria, where they rendition against international law our citizens that were kidnapped. Those that are fronting this regime paid from the coffers of genocides in Yaoundé, in the United States of America, who feel that they could use, that they can use the legal system, that people like Patrick Henry, who coined this phrase, that give me liberty or give me death, those who think that they would use the sweat of these heroes and front a genocidal regime to intimidate and persecute those fighting to stop this genocide and crimes against humanity in Ambazonia, have something coming for them that they will not stand. My fellow Ambazonians, a lot of them will be sitting in front of the International Court of Justice at The Hague before they realize it. They have started a war that they will not win. They will run out of the courts they blindly walk into, because, my fellow Ambazonians, you cannot operate as a foreign agent in a land of law. You cannot be paid from the coffers of Yaoundé, no matter through what means you think it is hidden, for you to use the American FBI as the Gestapo of one of the greatest regime, one of the greatest abusers of international law. But be that as it may, let me tell you a secret. No people on earth facing what I just indicated, occupation of their land, ethnic cleansing in order to resettle it with foreign people, engaging in biological warfare, blacking out for over 6 months, no internet, no phone connection, in order to carry genocide pogrom in that land, the using of helicopter gunship in order to fire, shoot on people protesting this brutality and occupation. No people, no matter what they face, can stand and allow that to happen. We are not going to allow a letter being written to the world to tell them that tomorrow we will be massacred and 3,000 of us massacred in cold blood. It is happening, but we are doing something against it. That is why all of us must get our AK campaign. That is why all of us might get our AK. You are able to buy 2 by 2. You want to buy 3 by 3. You want to buy 4, you go for it. You want to enroll as a member of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, as Ukrainians are doing and going back to Ukraine to fight. It is open. Go for it. You will be trained at our mother base, and you will be deployed to defend, to protect and defend the people of Ambazonia, to defend our community schools, to defend the community projects that are going on in Ambazonia right now, to militate. If you want to work in our liberation councils right now, taking care of the sick and the wounded, you can. If you want to work with them distributing aid to the internally displaced, you can. The Ambazonian Defense Forces has created a space and is expanding that free territory where all of these activities, you are a doctor, you are a nurse, you are needed in free Ambazonia. But more importantly, we are not going to rest on our laurels. That is why the 200 AK campaign is critical. Critical. That every Ambazonian step forth and show out. We need to defeat these people in Ambazonia. We need to send to the last one out of Ambazonia. And no matter where in the world we find ourselves, it is our civic duty. It is our responsibility as Ambazonians to provide everything necessary that we can so that our land has been free. My fellow Amazonians, time of all the reality, are trying to portray themselves as victims to the world as they keep burning our cities, our villages, our people, one after the other. We will not let them do that. We will not let them do that. And for anyone who doubt that our resolve is strong, for anyone who doubt that we are here for the long haul, To all those who still doubt that we will fight to the last man, today I send you an unequivocal message. The train has left the station. The people of Ambazonia are on the march. Destination freedom. Destination liberty. Join that train. Write history. Don't be one of those in history, as in the case of Rwanda, you stand with the genocidaires. Don't be bamboozled. Don't be discouraged. Have courage. Have power. We are on the march. And every single Ambazonian will be asked a question one day. When your land was in this state of brutal occupation by one of the greatest genocidaires in history, what did you do? Let your answer not be a lie. Let your children and your children's children be proud of the answer that you will give, or they will have to give. That my father, during the AK campaign, bought 3 AKs. That my uncle fought in the liberation war at Takija. That in Akwaya, my cousin swam across a river, carrying me on the back as we headed to a refugee camp for safety. That my cousin left a refugee camp, inserted into the territory, and held La République du Cameroun out of the village of Munya, out of the town of Munya. That another cousin fell in Babatu. That I lost a sister at the fight that took place this morning in Batibo. My fellow Ambazonian, this is the time of history. This is the time when each of us individually write our name, our family's name in the book of history. Don't miss it. Don't miss it for 1 second. I know that we have a lot of issues, but I can tell you, my fellow Ambazonians, that the route to our liberation lies through our efforts. We know who La Republic is. They are a brutish people. They are a people who know no law. They have no culture. They are absolutely brutal. They don't look at us as human. The type of crimes they have committed in our land are not crimes that any human will commit against another human. So they don't look at us as human. But we have defeated them in the land of our birth, Ambazonians, and we can finish the job. Get your AK. Get your AK. We can finish the job. Let's send a message to Yaoundé and their friends. Let's tell them Ambazonia is not going to go into the night without a fight. We will fight and we will win because we have done it. And in that, guys, I can tell you that this morning, Guzang Market Day, our forces had a 3 hours battle in Batibo with the gendarmerie. The bees who scam, they had come and placed a camp beside the gendarmerie, hid behind their sandbags. The police who had come to the market on the market day in order to economically devastate our people by taking bribes, by kidnapping them and asking for ransom. The police hid behind their sandbags. The Ambazonian Defense Forces protected the Guzang market as the fighting was going on in Batibo as they confronted these thieves coming in to hold our people for ransom. My fellow Ambazonians, I can tell you that the state of our revolution is strong. It has been a brutal week. I am going to assure you that for La République du Cameroon, they have sustained, I don't want to call it massacres, but they have sustained injuries, and they have had killed in action in the tents. And 20s. And as I brought that topic, I got emotional because within the past week and so, the Ambazonian Defense Forces have also lost 4 of our top fighters on the field in some of these battles. I know that whether we kill 40, 50 of them, they are not worth the life of one Ambazonian. But we have, in the past week or so in battle, lost 4 heroes, soldiers of Ambazonia. Commander No Mercy, who fell at Alakbukam with another comrade. Commander Free Boy, who fell in Abui military district with another comrade. It's been difficult, but in each of these sacrifices, the affirmation of the Ambazonian nation is written irrevocably in our land, in our Bible, in our land. We honor them. You can hear, if you listen carefully, as one of these heroes was being buried. I will stop here because, as I say, some of these soldiers, what we have done on the field, what they have sacrificed for our people, I get emotional when I see the caliber of the soldiers that we lost this week. So I will take a minute of silence here to compose myself and to honor them as they are being buried.
If you want to finish me, I die. I will never run away from this amber. Sumu you banga. Uli watade. Sumu you banga. Uli watade. No kotaya. Uli watade.
Beautiful.
So, my fellow Ambazonians, that is the price of freedom. We owe these young men and women a debt of gratitude that we can never repay. And that is why I will ask you once again to step forward. Your country needs you. You want to enroll in the Ambazonian Defense Forces, in our army, enroll. You want to buy an AK, buy an AK. You want to double it, double it. The protection that our people need, the decolonization of our land is critical. While we fight, I know that there are a lot of people who are looking that there is some other method by which we are going to gain our liberation. My fellow Ambazonians, there is none. We are going to throw to the last La République du Cameroon soldier of our land. That is the task ahead of us. Let us not for 1 second be diverted through whatever means, through whatever talk. Let's not for 1 second be diverted from that goal. I know that there are people who might sit and they think that, oh, La République might be ready to talk with Ambazonian on the de-occupation of Ambazonia, on leaving Ambazonia and all that. That La République might be ready because we have bloodied their nose. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Know who you are dealing with. These people are crooks. These people are real terrors when it comes to any law. They know no law, they obey no law. We know that. You know that they are thieves. You already know that. The embezzlement, the corruption, you know it. I don't need to tell you that. These are crooks of the highest order. So, my fellow Ambazonians, the task ahead of us is clear. We will have to throw to the last La République du Cameroon terrorist soldier on our land. We will have to throw the last one out of our land to be free. So that task is heavy. And while we fight that task, while this task is this heavy on us as we battle it, we still have enablers, internal enablers who go about making our job difficult. As has happened with the FACO cartel, that absolutely dismantled a struggle that was at the point of capturing the capital. We were fighting in Moliko, and the cartels got in. The same cartel that got into Meme and Manu, the same cartel that has done everything to destroy the heart of the struggle in Momo, the Momo cartel, that has entered into Bamenda, the highest populated city in Ambazonia. A vicious cartel is constituting itself in order to undermine the struggle and bring to the fore the tribalism that was used to dismantle the struggle in most of the Atlantic states. And it has taken Ambazonians blood, sweat, and tears to rebuild the fabric of the liberation struggle back in the Atlantic states. That cartel is entering into Bamenda and trying to use the Mancon, trying to use that as the wedge in which to dismantle the struggle. So let me give a very direct and clear warning. There are places where I could say that our forces were battling an overwhelming tide. That is not Bamenda. That is not Bamenda. When we want to, we control Bamenda. Any day we want to walk into Bamenda and carry out defense objectives, we walk into Bamenda and carry out defense objectives. We want to close down roads, we want to shut down the town, we do it in order to achieve our military goals. So let me warn this cartel that is trying to have some of the greatest soldiers who have marched on the streets of Bamenda to be immobilized because they are not Mancon. Let me warn them. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. In that guise, the commander, a warrant has been put out for the Ambazonian Defense Forces commander, who was in Ntankah, Commander Striker. He has been asked to present himself to his colleagues in Batibo, where he will be questioned and he would face a tribunal of his peers. For some time, he was suspended for his duty, taken to Batibo, where he was rehabilitated for his drug habit and other crimes against the population that was tied to his drug habit. He took an oath in front of the camera and in front of the court that he would mend his ways and respect the Ambazonian Defense Forces Code of Conduct. Reinstalled in his position, he fell back on his bad ways and was suspended. A strike to dismantle some of the narcotics drug rings that La République has put in Bamenda town in order to lure our boys to become addicts and in that way destroy the struggle in an operation to dismantle one of these setups. Our forces captured the ringleader of that operation, and in that drug house, Commander Striker was found in there. So, though he had been suspended with immediate effect, he has been dismissed from his position as commander, Bamenda Zone 2 of the Bamenda Brigade, Ntankah, and appointed as commander for Zone 2, Bamenda Brigade Zone 2. Ntankah is Commander J.C. Chris. His rank moved from a captain, he is now a lieutenant colonel and brigade commander of Brigade Zone 2 of Bamenda Military District. We are not going to tolerate soldiers who go against the Ambazonian Defense Forces Code of Conduct. Everyone is held accountable, and soldiers who carry guns, who are able to take life, must hold the highest code of conduct, and they must be held accountable to that high code of conduct. They are officers and gentlemen, and in this time of liberation, they set the character of the nation. We will not tolerate that, and this should go as a warning to all commanders of the Ambazonian Defense Forces. We know you are sacrificing for our land, but understand that there are rules that all of you must follow. We will never allow our people to be preyed on by anyone, foreign or domestic. Commander J.C. Christ is a distinguished commander, a commander who has shown his intellect, his determination, his loyalty, and most of all, his effectiveness as he worked in our anti-kidnapping and anti-drug units. We encourage him to follow the line and follow the character of those who have gone before him, like Brigadier General Agama like General Ivo, General Ginyam, and the heroes, the Fiangos, who have charted the path as liberators, as soldiers of Ambazonia in our land. My fellow Ambazonians, we have had a lot of battles in the past couple of weeks as La République sought to break our back in certain areas for certain objectives. They have not succeeded. We've had our heroes, pray for them, pray for their families, pray for Ambazonia. I want to thank our forces in the Bui military district for the number of casualties they have dealt the enemy the past month. It has been overwhelming even by their standards. I want to comfort the families of those that were killed at Yellow by the terrorist regime, who, because of their number of their death, massacred our people at Yellow. I want to commend Commander Freeboy, who, surrounded by the enemy, fought to the death, not to be taken prisoner in Bui yesterday. You are a hero of Ambazonia. You fought and you kept the spirit of fighting to the last man. My fellow Ambazonians, I am coming to the end of my presentation, and I can assure you that I know that if I ask the question, that shake day, I will hear a resounding shake no day. And so I will sign off by reminding you, reminding La République du Cameroon, and reminding the world of the oath that I and you live by, that Ambazonia will win this war, that I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure, I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost, even till death, as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. So help me God.
For God, your enemy for up, and Satan. My own for down, like Kelebe. As we did for Okuye. For God, your enemy for up, and Satan. My own for down, like Kelebe. As we did for Okuye. For God, your enemy for up, and Satan. My own for down, like Kelebe. As we did for Okuye. If you want to finish me, I die. I will never run away from this amber. Sumu you banga. Uli watade. Sumu you banga. Uli watade. No kotaya. Uli watade.